Hello, good morning, everybody.
Yeah, good morning, HOD.
Good morning, Prof, and thank you for joining very early. Uh, yeah, with the responses we are getting in the in the chat box, I can tell that the students can hear us. So
Yes,
I want
okay.
to welcome you all to this course that will be taken by several very senior professors in the Department of Sociology. And to lead today will be Professor Malulu Shayamba. It's 10:01 right now, and we have over 220 students in attendance already. And we're also streaming this live on YouTube. Um, I think I've seen at least one person streaming it who joined on Zoom. But of course, we expect first that people join uh, the Zoom meeting, and then whoever cannot be part of this um, can move to Zoom, to YouTube to follow the class. So I don't want to waste time any further. So I'll hand it over to Professor Amadou Sheyamba, who will take the first topic. And Prof, I want to thank you very especially for making time to be part of this, to take the lead, despite your very busy schedule. Over to you, Prof.
Yes, thank you very much, HOD. Good morning, everybody. I believe you can hear me. So welcome to the class SOC 101, Introduction to Sociology. I understand we have people from various disciplines, programs, and departments here. For today, we'll be introducing us to the discipline of sociology. Our class today will be divided into four broad categories. We'll start with the definition and scope of sociology. We'll be dealing with issues. What is sociology? What do sociologists study? What are the definitions of sociology? Then we'll move on to the relationship and distinctions between sociology as a discipline and other social science subjects, psychology, political science, economics, and so on. How do they relate? What are the points of convergence? What are the differences between them? So that we can clearly differentiate sociology from other subjects. Then we'll move on to discuss the historical context of sociology, how sociology emerged, how it started, the socio-political context that led to the emergence of sociology. And we'll round up by looking at some of the founding fathers of sociology, the contributions of founding fathers to sociology. In this regard, we'll be looking at the contributions of four major sociologists: August Comte, Emile Durkheim, Karl Marx, and Max Weber. So with this, we'll round up our class for today. As the HOD has said, that's Professor Kunoji, the course will be taken by various scholars and professors in the Department of Sociology. So from next week, you'll be interacting with other people as we move on. For our class today, we'll try to make it as interactive, participatory as possible. So if people have any questions to ask, let's just be orderly. You can indicate by raising your digital hand, and we can see you, and then you can ask you to make your comments, and we'll be able to respond to your comment, answer your question, and be sure that we all move together. We want to be sure that everybody follows the class, and we are all on the same page. So I'll also be sharing a screen with us on which I'll make some jottings and notes as the class progresses. So if there are some names or concepts that's important for us to understand, then so that people can get it correctly, we'll paste on this page. We'll share some materials with us later as the semester progresses, which can also help us further with the understanding of the subject matter. So we'll start. Introduction to sociology. So what is sociology? This course that we call sociology. What is it? What does it entail? What does it aim at studying? What contribution can it make to our various courses? There are various definitions of the word sociology. One definition sees sociology as the study of social life, social change, and social causes and consequences of human behavior. Britannica defines sociology as the social science that studies human societies, their interaction and processes. The social science that studies human societies, their interaction and processes that preserve and or change the society. Another definition of sociology sees it as the study of human social relationships, and institutions. Given the various definitions of sociology, maybe we can just zero in on a useful definition that we can adapt for our purpose. The various definitions, we'll see various elements, but all pointing at essentially the same thing from the various definitions that we already gave. But for our purposes, we can see sociology as the scientific study of the society. The scientific study of the society. Or in other words, the scientific study of human beings in social interaction. So from this definition, we can get an idea about the focus of sociology. And this can also help us to differentiate sociology from other subjects. Elements of this definition include the scientific studies. So sociology is a scientific study. It is a subject that aims at adopting the methods of science. So the scientific study of who? The scientific study of human beings. Scientific study of human beings, not of any other category of subjects or objects, but the scientific study of human beings, not the study of animals, not the study of inanimate objects, but study of human beings. But when we talk of the study of human beings, we are not just talking about the study of human beings in all aspects, but the study of human beings in social interaction. When we go on to discuss the relationship and differences between sociology and other subjects, we'll bring this out more clearly. But as sociologists, we are interested in human beings in social interaction. Human beings in social interaction. The implication of this is that we want to understand what happens when two or more human beings come together in social interaction. We may imagine that the behavior of a single individual acting alone without interaction with other people may be different from the behavior of the same individual when the person comes into contact with other people. We may just make a simple illustration. When we are all alone in our private rooms, the things we may do will certainly be different from the things we'll do, the ways we'll behave when we have other people around, when other people can see us, or we are interacting with other people. In our private rooms, we may decide to remove our clothes and do whatever we want to do because we are alone in our room. Sociology is not interested in that aspect of human behavior. Sociology is interested in what happens when we have other people around, when we come into contact and social interaction with other people. Oftentimes, when people come together, there will be, the presence of other people will certainly influence our behavior. We may become more conscious of what we are doing because other people are around and other people are looking at us. A simple general illustration we may take note of: when people are in public and the behavior, the interaction is being recorded. For instance, when a video camera comes up and people see that they are being recorded on the video to be aired to to the world, people's behaviors change. People who are sitting in one way may decide to sit up properly, may decide to smile. Sometimes people wave at the camera to indicate that, yes, they are here, they smile. So that is the type of behavior that we are interested in as sociologists. When we are in the presence of other people and when we interact with other people. Now, we said sociology is the scientific study of human beings in social interaction. The element of scientific study is very important to the discipline. Sociology is categorized under the discipline of social science. And this implies that we believe there is a difference between the social sciences and the physical or natural sciences. But despite this, the social sciences and sociology in particular for this our purpose adopts the methods of the sciences, adopts the scientific method. So what is the scientific method that we are talking about? What are the characteristics of science that sociology adopts for its study? We may identify various characteristics of science which sociologists adopt for their study. One is systematic pursuit of knowledge. Sociology pursues knowledge in a systematic manner. Systematic as opposed to a haphazard or uncoordinated pursuit of knowledge. Sociology follows a systematic procedure in which one step follows another, carefully arranged and pre-designed. So the study of sociology does not just occur anyhow, but it is systematic. Another characteristic of science which sociology adopts is the idea of objectivity, the quality of objectivity. Sociology as a discipline tries to be objective. As sociologists, we try to be objective in our study. By being objective, we expect people, or sociology describes or reports situations as they actually are, not as we want them to be, but as they actually are, reporting situations as they truly are. This entails the capacity to see and report things as they occur, not as we want them to be. Sociology is based on what is observable, what we can see. In a simple word, it entails, as they say, calling a spade a spade. When we are objective, then it is possible for us to study the same phenomenon and see the same observation. We observe things and we see the same things and we report things as they are. Another characteristic of science is empiricism. Sociology also adopts this characteristic of science. Sociology as a discipline relies a lot on what is observable, what can be studied, what can be directly observed. So direct observation of the world and events. I'm trying to just type some things for us. So we've talked about the systematic pursuit of knowledge. We've talked about objectivity. We've talked about empiricism. Sociology collects information that are testable, that can be tested by other people. So if we conduct a study and we find out we make a particular observation, it should not just be what we alone can see or observe. The scientific procedure requires that we clearly state the steps that we adopted in making our observation, so that if other people want to adopt the same methods to observe the same phenomenon, they can equally do that and be able to test the reliability of our observation. In this regard, I would like to add another quality of science, that is reliability. So whatever we do, we believe should be reliable. So systematic pursuit of knowledge, objectivity, objective pursuit of knowledge, empirical observation, testable, and reliable. These are some of the characteristics of science that we may mention for our purpose now. So these are methods in which sociologists are trained. Sociology studies all aspects of human relationships. And with this, we can imagine the versatility of sociology as a course. Anywhere that human beings come together in social interaction comes under the purview of sociology. And this explains why invariably we have one or the other specialized area of sociology, which covers virtually everything in the society. Sociology studies human relationships, societies, institutions, and processes. including religion, when people go to their religious organizations for worship, when people come together for worship, including the family, when people live together, including marriage, including the work process, work organizations, production process, sports, recreation, education, and so on. And also uh, criminality, how people come together to engage in deviant behaviors. Anything, any situation in which two or more people come together comes under the purview of sociology. The word sociology was coined by uh, a foremost sociology, one of the founding fathers of sociology, Auguste Comte, a French sociologist in 1838. At that time, he introduced the word sociology as a new discipline, a new subject area, which will study a particular aspect, a different aspect of social interaction, different from what the other social sciences had been studying. Although before Auguste Comte introduced the word again in 1838, there was an earlier scholar, a French essayist named Emmanuel Joseph Sayes, who used the word sociology in 1780. But the word was used in an unpublished manuscript. So for all intents and purposes, Auguste Comte is credited with the introduction of the word in 1838. So what is the subject matter of sociology? How does sociology differ from other related subjects? As we said earlier on, sociology is interested in the study of human beings in social interaction, two or more people in social interaction. We can think of various related subjects that are related to sociology and how they may be said to differ. One closely related subject to sociology is psychology. And I believe we have some psychology students here today. While psychology may be said to study individual behavior, what goes on with the individual, the thinking process, the personality, the mental condition of the individual, and so on. Sociology focuses on group interaction, the effects of group interaction on the individual. how, how shared experiences and situations affect individuals. So sociology is not interested in just one person per se, as with psychology, but with people in social interaction. Another related discipline is anthropology, which can be said to be a study of the culture and environment of human beings and their ancestors, the community life and social life of early societies, traditional societies, indigenous societies, and cultures. Sociology, on the other hand, also studies societies, but at various levels of development. Sociology is interested in both the past societies, how they evolved, how they changed from the early situations to the modern or contemporary situation. Sociology is interested in the study of both rural and urban communities. Sociology studies both traditional and modern societies. Sociology studies both simple and complex societies. Another related discipline is political science, which in a simple sense focuses more on political institutions and processes. Sociology is also interested in political institutions, but interested in more than the political institution. Sociology is interested in all social institutions, including political institutions, structures, and processes, and how the interaction of human beings affects the behavior of people in the society. Another discipline is economics, which in a simple sense can be said to focus more on economic issues, economic factors, factors of production, factors of distribution, factors of consumption of goods and services, and so on. Who does what in the society? How are goods produced? How are they distributed? How are they consumed? Issues about demand and supply. But sociology, as we said, studies not just economic institutions, but sociology studies all social institutions. Sociology in this regard also studies economic institutions, structures, and relationships which affect human behavior and how social relationships affect economic relations. So the way economists, for instance, conceive of a human being, economists see human beings as being rational beings who calculate, who want to maximize their profits and minimize their gain. The seller wants to sell products at a high price, to buy at a low price and sell at a high price. That is the economic perspective. But sociology brings in some other equations to the study. It is not at all times that even the seller or the economic person can behave in the economic way that the economics will suggest. Sometimes in situations because of our social interaction, because of our relationship with other people, we may sell, the economic person may sell even at a lower price than would probably have been possible. For instance, there's a difference when in economic matters, when we are dealing with complete strangers, and there's a difference when we are dealing with family members, friends, and social acquaintances. Sometimes the core economic principles of profit maximization may not apply because of social relationships and interaction. So sociology takes this into cognizance in understanding and studying human beings in social interaction. Another related discipline that we will quickly talk about is history. History, as we know, studies the past societies, what happened, uh, and how societies change over time. The difference here is that sociology studies both the past and the present. So in this regard, we can say sociology goes even beyond history, looking at the past, how the past influenced the present. How did we get to where we are today? So these are some of the areas that sociology is interested in and the boundaries between sociology and other subjects. A question we may ask ourselves, well, perhaps maybe at this point, we may just pause a little and ask people, from what we have said so far, what can you say sociology is all about? What does sociology study? Can anybody give us his or her understanding of sociology as a course of study? Just unmute yourself. Okay, Oluwanifemi, I can see your hand up. Oluwanifemi, did you raise your hand or the hand is just up? Oluwanifemi, Allah Wada. Then I can see Sarah. Sarah's hand is up. If you just unmute yourself and let's hear you. Elizabeth Ajayi, what do you understand by the words sociology, the focus of sociology as a discipline?
Study of human behavior and how it interacts with other beliefs.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. That's Sarah. The study of human behavior, how we interact with other people in the society. Okay. Aisha Abdul Kabir.
Sociology studies all aspects of human relationship.
Okay, sociology studies all aspects of human relationships, social relationships, social interaction. Okay, thank you. Victoria Osasu, I can see your hand up. David Komolafe. Okay, so let's move on gradually. We are right with our comment. Sociology is the study of human beings in social interaction. Sociology studies groups of
Okay.
people in social interaction, two or more people in social interaction. Now, what are the uses of sociology? Why study sociology? What are the benefits that the study of sociology can give us? What benefits can we derive from the study of sociology? We can talk and expand this as we move on, but from what we have discussed and from the focus of sociology, we can simply say that sociology can enhance the understanding of human beings, human behavior, and the society. Through a study of sociology, we can understand human beings. We can understand why people behave in the ways they behave. Sometimes people do things which we do not expect them to do, and we wonder, how do they do this? Why do they do this? But through a study of sociology, we can understand human behavior, why people behave the way they behave. And we can also understand more about the society, how the society changes, the impact, the influence of a person's behavior on other people in the society. When we look at human beings in social interaction, when we look at the society, we can see that everybody is connected to every other person. The behavior of one person may also affect the behavior of some other people. So oftentimes, people respond to other people in the way that they respond to them. There are people that we like, there are people that we may not so like, but one person's behavior also has implications for the behavior of other people. For various disciplines, various professions, sociology as a study of human beings in social interaction can be said to be important because invariably we all deal with human beings, whether in engineering or in the law practice or in accounting or in medicine, whatever it is, whatever the discipline may be, we deal with human beings. And a knowledge of sociology can be useful to us in understanding why people may behave in particular ways. In work organizations, the manager wants to ensure that productivity continues to grow in the organization. The organization is productive. People are doing what they want, what they are expected to do. A study of sociology, a knowledge of sociology can be helpful to people, to personnel managers, human resource managers, and other people in understanding human behavior. How can we motivate, how can we encourage people to do what they are expected to do? The study of sociology can help us in this regard. In the medical parlance, for instance, it is possible for a medical doctor to prescribe a medicine for a patient. But in some situations, medicines may be prescribed. Patients may not use the medicine for various reasons. a knowledge of sociology can help us to understand why patients who need treatment, who need to be healed, may refuse to use drugs that are prescribed for them. So oftentimes we find that even in the medical field, we have people who study sociology in relation to medicine. So we have virtually sociology of everything, as we said earlier on, sociology of medicine, sociology of law, sociology of engineering, political sociology, sociology of economic life, social anthropology, and so on. You have sociology of everything because invariably all of us deal with human beings. Now let's just, rounding up this section, let's look again at sociology as a science. As I said, sociology tries to adopt the methods of the physical sciences, the natural sciences. But I also noted that sociology as a social science is different from the physical sciences. And the difference is that sociology or the social sciences in general cannot be as precise, cannot be as exact as the physical sciences. The predictive capacity, the extent to which we can predict what will happen tomorrow, the extent to which we can predict what a person will do tomorrow is not as precise as in the physical sciences. Why is this so? Why can we not be as exact, as correct as in the physical sciences? The physical sciences, for instance, if we go into the laboratory, in chemistry, if they mix this product with these other agents, if they mix one chemical with another chemical, it will give a particular result. The formula for water, they say, is H2O, that if you mix hydrogen with oxygen, it will give you water. When this experiment is conducted in the laboratory in the same way, if it is conducted 100 times, it will give you exactly the same result. But in sociology, in the social sciences, we cannot be as exact. The main difference is because the physical sciences deal more with inanimate objects, objects that are not capable of changing on their own. But in the social sciences, we deal with human beings. And human beings we know can change. We can think of illustrations. Sometimes we try to predict election results. Which party will win in the election? And we ask people, we go around and ask people, which party will you vote for in the election? Party A or B or C or whatever party the person may say. If we go ahead and on this basis, we can analyze what the election result is likely to be based on our study. So many percentage of people said they will vote for party A, so many said they will vote for party B, so many said they will vote for party C. But it may happen on the election day that people may change their mind. Sometimes you ask somebody a question yesterday, what the person will do. The person gives you an answer. A week later, you may ask the same person the same question, and the person has completely changed his or her mind. What will you do in this situation? The person says another thing. But you told me last week that this is what you are going to do. Now you are telling me a different thing. Yes, that may be so because sociology deals with human beings, and human beings are capable of changing their views or their positions. So for that reason, we cannot be as exact in predicting events about human behavior as the physical sciences. I can see people raising up their hands. Do we have questions, or our hands are just up? If it is not that we have questions, then maybe let's move on.
James, I have a question.
Yes, you have a question. Okay, is that
Yes, sir.
Macaulay?
Yes, sir.
Macaulay Okwocha, yes.
Zokwa.
Okwoha, yes. Okwoha, yes. Okay, what's the question, please?
Sir, please, like the difference between that anthropology and history in relation to sociology, like 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 both of them deals with them past events, both the anthropology and the sociology. Sorry, and the history. So, like, I don't know the difference between both of them.
Okay, difference between anthropology and history. Well,
Yes.
anthropology essentially studies human beings, culture, institutions, and social structures, but oftentimes, more often about past societies. History, on the other hand, also studies the past, but the events, general events and activities, so which may be beyond issues of culture and structures and organizations of the societies. So if sometimes when we read our history books, we read about various things. It could also be about their political systems, religious systems, and interactions, and general development. It may also veer into areas that are beyond social interaction, that may even be beyond human interaction. So we have various subdisciplines of history, just as we also have various subdisciplines of anthropology, social anthropology, archaeology, and so on. So what's so the distinction between the various subjects, we may just say, is they oftentimes they share some aspects, so they are related in a way. It's not so much that we can separate them completely. They often overlap with one another. They share boundaries, just as sociology also shares with other disciplines. But their areas of focus may just differ. Ayomide, I
Thanks,
see
sir.
your hand up. Yes. Okay. Okay, let's move on to discuss the historical context of sociology. How did sociology as a discipline emerge? What conditions led to the emergence of sociology? The emergence of sociology in the 19th century, coined, as we said, by Auguste Comte in 1838, can be attributed to two significant developments in Europe at that time. Namely, the French Revolution the French Revolution and the Industrial Revolution in Europe. French Revolution in France and Industrial Revolution in Europe. What are these revolutions and how did they lead to the emergence of sociology? The French Revolution, which began around 1789, and Industrial Revolution about 1760 to 1840 led to remarkable changes in the society, in the French society for the French Revolution and in the European society for the Industrial Revolution. This was the period of enlightenment and so many things were changing in the society. The French Revolution led to remarkable changes in the French society. It led to general societal restructuring and reorganization. Social classes were disrupted and there was general social distortion. In terms of social classification, during the period of French Revolution, many people began to question the behavior and authority of the social and political leaders. Why should this be so? Why should people be doing this? Why should we be organized in this way? People began to ask questions. They were not taking things as they were before, but asking for explanations, asking for justification. It was said at this period, many of the wealthy people, the aristocrats, lost their wealth and their positions in the ensuing social disorganization. And many people, many peasants, lower class people rose up on the social ladder, on the social ladder, the hierarchy in the society. The family as an institution was also significantly affected, leading to various modifications, the same way the church was also affected. So this was a period of social upheaval in the French society. The Industrial Revolution, on the other hand, in Europe, 1760 to 1840, thereabout, also led to remarkable changes. During the period of Industrial Revolution, there was a shift from agricultural production to industrial production. So many people abandoned the rural areas. They abandoned farming to look for industrial work, to look for factory work. And this affected people in various ways. We can imagine when people begin to move away from one community to another, then we can expect that it will have significant changes. Perhaps what we may equate that with in our contemporary society is the Japa syndrome, the tendency for young people in particular to want to leave the country, to go to other countries, to the developed countries, to Europe, America, Canada, and various other places. But we can imagine that that will lead to various disruptions in the social system. So as sociologists, we'll be interested in studying the effects of Japa syndrome on our social, political, and economic life. And people have mentioned various effects. The tendency for many professionals, the medical doctors, the IT people, and various other people to leave the country. The tendency for young people to leave the country, and the implications of this for the future of the country, and so on. So these are things that the sociologists will be interested in. So with the Industrial Revolution, people abandoned agriculture and shifted to industrialization. People left the rural areas and moved to the cities for industrial work. This created some new problems which did not exist before. With factory work, people had to work long hours under poor working conditions, under harsh conditions, and oftentimes for relatively low pay. Sometimes you can imagine when people leave the rural areas and move to the urban areas, there's the lure of the city. People look at the people in the urban areas as if they are wealthy people, they make so much money. So many people in the rural areas are tempted to go to the city. I want to go to the city too. I want to go and work in the city. But there are problems in the city. When people move away from the rural area to the city in large numbers, it creates some social upheavals. It disrupts the system in the rural areas. So increasingly today we talk about low agricultural productivity, not producing enough food to feed the nation and having to import from some other countries. But when people go to the city, they also experience some problems. The works are not there for them to pick. Money is not there for them to pick on the street. So many people go into the city to become destitute. People go to Lagos from the rural area. They leave the comfort of their homes in the rural areas and go to places like Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, and so on in search of greener pastures. But they end up being destitute, nowhere to, no house to live in. They end up sleeping on the streets, exposed to various problems and issues. So this compounded the Industrial Revolution, moving from the agriculture to industrial employment, created some new problems. It created problems of increased poverty in the cities. It created problems of overcrowding in the cities. When the relatives and other people come to the city to live with their relatives in the city, then they increase the number of people in the house. Sometimes the houses may accommodate more people than the houses are designed for. So this leads to overcrowding. This leads to problems of health and disease. Waterborne disease, airborne disease, and so on. This leads to increased poverty for many people, and it also leads to increased criminality. When people get to the city and they are jobless, they have to survive. So a number of them may begin to take to crime for survival. So areas that were hitherto crime-free begin to experience criminality. So these were some of the problems that emerged with the Industrial Revolution. Comte, Auguste Comte, as we mentioned earlier on, looked at these problems and was worried about the problems and was wondering, trying to explain why the problems occurred. And he was of the view that the existing social science subjects at that time were not adequate to explain the problems. So he thought there should be another science subject that will help us to understand the problems and address the problems and find solutions to the problem. Because at that time, the problems were there, but they were not being addressed by the government or anybody in the society. People were just left hanging. And people like Auguste Comte were worried about that and thought something should be done. It was in the process of this that the idea occurred to him for the establishment of a new science to study the social problems that emerged from the French Revolution and the Industrial Revolution. It was at this point that he coined the word sociology to cover the new science that he thought should handle this matter. So talking about this, maybe we should then quickly talk about the origin, how the word sociology was coined. And we understand that sociology is a combination of two words. Combination of two words. One Latin, the other Greek. The first one is the Latin word socios, which means companion. Being with others. So to emphasize what happens when people come into interaction with other people. The second word, logia, is Greek. Which means study. Study of something. So the study of human interaction, companionship, with being with others. So that was the way the word sociology was coined by Auguste Comte. So this explains the historical context of the emergence of sociology as a discipline. The French Revolution, the Industrial Revolution, and so on. Now, let's go on to the last bit of our work today, of our class today, by looking at the contributions of the founding fathers. The contributions of the founding fathers As I said, we'll look at 4 of them. Auguste Comte, Emile Durkheim, Karl Marx, and Max Weber. So we'll look at the works of these 4 major founding fathers of sociology. So what did they say as individuals? How did they contribute to the study of sociology? Let's start with Auguste Comte. Auguste Comte lived from 1798 to 1857. He was a French philosopher, mathematician, and ultimately a sociologist. When Auguste Comte coined the word sociology as a discipline, he was of the view that sociology could unite all sciences with the ultimate objective of improving the society. So he thought of sociology as a discipline that can help to improve the society, a discipline that can lead to the betterment of the society. In this way, sometimes we want to make a distinction between what we call applied science and pure science or pure study. The applied science is the one that can be put to some practical uses, that has some practical applications that can benefit people and the society. So that was the idea that Auguste Comte had for sociology, to lead to improvement in the living conditions of people, to understand the problems that occurred in the French society of his time. Why did they have the social upheaval? Why was there destitution, homelessness, overcrowding, poverty, increasing criminality, diseases, and so on in the society at that time? Those were questions that operated on the mind of Auguste Comte, and he tried to find solutions to them so that the society can be better, the living conditions of people can be better. In this regard, Auguste Comte can be said to be a positivist scholar. Positivists in the belief that the scientific method can be applied to the analysis of the society. Auguste Comte believed that the society can be studied just like the natural sciences. So that's why he believed that sociology should adopt the scientific method. Auguste Comte divided sociology into two parts: social statics and social dynamics. Social statics, according to Auguste Comte, will study those factors that enhance stability in the society. These factors that hold the society together and made for continuity. So if we look at some social systems and structures, we'll note that some things have continued over time. Regardless of changes in the society, they have persisted. Some structures, some institutions have persisted. So Auguste Comte tried to study and understand such factors that encourage persistence and continuity in the society. The second category of the second part of sociology he called social dynamics. And this social dynamics, he said, will focus on factors or forces that encourage social change in the society. From this, what we can simply say is that Auguste Comte recognized two categories of factors: factors that encourage stability in the society and factors or forces that encourage change in the society. So he recognized that there are things that will persist in the society. At the same time, some aspects of the society will also change. So he tried to understand the two components. Auguste Comte was also regarded to be an evolutionarist. He talked about the idea of evolution. According to him, the society usually develops in three stages. The society develops in three stages. Namely, starting from the theological stage to the metaphysical stage And finally, to the scientific or positivist stage. As the society moves through these stages, the complexity of the society increases. At the theological stage, religion and religious sentiments were said to be very strong and influential. So there was a strong belief in religion and religious authorities were very influential in such societies. But he was of the view that the rate of development, the level of development at that stage was relatively low. That was the lowest level of development. So we can see a relationship between, on the part of Auguste Comte about the impact of religion on societal development. Because of the view that religion does not contribute much to the development of the society. Religious sentiments will not advance the society so much. After the theological stage comes the metaphysical stage, the stage where people understand the society as natural rather than supernatural. So rather than placing so much belief and trust in supernatural beings, people see the world as a natural world. And the thing then is to understand the natural world through the laws of nature. And the third stage is the scientific stage or the positivist stage. This, he said, is the most advanced stage of social development, societal development. At the scientific stage, the society is governed by reliable knowledge. So this stage can be said to be a knowledge society, not based on religion or such other sentiments. So these were the views, the main views of Auguste Comte. The next scholar we want to look at, the next sociologist we want to look at is Emile Durkheim. Emile Durkheim, who lived from 1858 to 1917. Emile Durkheim was a French sociologist. Emile Durkheim made significant contributions to the study of sociology. Emile Durkheim is said to be a structural functionalist. Now, who is a structural functionalist? What do we mean when we say Emile Durkheim was a structural functionalist? This is because Emile Durkheim saw the society as being made up of various structures. He said the society is made up of various structures, various units, various component parts. But that all the component parts function together for the society. We cannot remove any one part without disrupting the society, without disrupting social order. We can just imagine a motor vehicle. The motor vehicle is comprised of various structures, various systems, various components, and all the components work together to ensure that the car moves. If you remove any one part, then the vehicle may not function again or may not function efficiently. The Kickstarter gets the car started. The fuel tank supplies the fuel. The brake, the pedals propel the vehicle, move the vehicle forward and stop the vehicle when necessary. So the various components. Hello, please, if you have any question, let's hear you. So the various components function together to ensure that the society functions efficiently. Now, for Emile Durkheim, the question is, how is order ensured in the society? How does the society ensure that there is social order? How does the society ensure that people continue to do what they are expected to do and the society continues to function efficiently? Emile Durkheim introduced some concepts to the study of society. The concept of solidarity, common consciousness, and so on. Emile Durkheim also talked about division of labor in the society. Division of labor is a further explanation of his idea about structural functionalism, how the society comprises different structures, different component parts. With division of labor, according to Emile Durkheim, unites people in the society. How does this happen? When different individuals specialize in the production of different component parts, then this implies that everybody relies on everybody else. A relies on B, B relies on C, and it continues like that. So for the society to continue to function, everybody must perform his or her due responsibility. So when this is realized, then according to Emile Durkheim, all members of the society join together and put all hands on deck to ensure the continuity of the society. The fisherman knows that he has to continue to catch fish to give to other people so that they can also give him their own produce. The fisherman gives produce to the farmer gives yam, vegetable, and whatever it is, and they have to give this to the mason who constructs their houses. They have to give this to, so it continues like that. Everybody depends on everybody else. No person is self-sufficient on his or her own. When we realize that we are all interdependent, then this encourages people to be sure that they live up to their own responsibility and perform their own duty. Emile Durkheim was also an evolutionist. He adopted an evolutionary approach to the study of the society. Evolutionary approach implies that he believed that the society evolves, moves from one stage to another. Emile Durkheim simply classified the society into two broad types. One society is characterized by what he called mechanical solidarity. So he talked about two types of societies. The first one is the one that is characterized by mechanical solidarity. And the second one is characterized by organic solidarity. So what do this mean? Societies that are characterized by by mechanical solidarity, he referred to, those are the simple societies. Simple societies. Small societies. Rural societies. In such societies, relationship is often face to face. So we can just imagine, our rural, communities, the villages. Oftentimes, the villages have relatively small populations. The villages have small populations, and usually, oftentimes, the people interact every day. on a face-to-face basis. The various houses and huts are clustered together. When they wake up, they see one another. They can call across the compound to another person and they can see themselves. So the relationship, he said, is mechanical. Such societies are largely homogeneous. What do we mean when we say a community or society is homogeneous? A homogeneous society comprises people who are similar in various ways, people who have similar values, similar cultures, similar orientation. So invariably, they tend to behave in the same way because they are all members of the same group. So oftentimes when you go to the villages, you see people who are related by blood and everybody shares the same values. So in such a society, a community, Emile Durkheim said the society is characterized by mechanical solidarity. It happens just naturally, automatically. The solidarity happens, they are bound together in a mechanical way. The society characterized by organic solidarity, on the other hand, is typical of urban societies with relatively large population. With large population in urban societies, we know that it is not possible for people to interact on a face-to-face basis. When we think of a place like Lagos, people living in Agege, people living in Iyanakwaja, people living in Okokomaiko, people living in VI, people living in Surulere, and so on. It's not possible for them to interact on a face-to-face basis. We can also imagine that the urban area comprises people from different backgrounds. We have Igbos, we have Yorubas, we have Hausas, we have people from neighboring countries, we have Ibibio, and so on. So they do not have, the people living in such a society do not have one united culture. They do not have one single culture, but people from different backgrounds coming with their different values, different orientations. So it becomes more difficult for them to act together in unison. So this is why he said, what binds people together in such a society is organic solidarity. Such societies, because of the large population, there's a high level of anonymity. If you enter a village characterized by mechanical solidarity, if you mention somebody, you are looking for somebody, most likely the person you meet will tell you, oh, okay, come, this is where the person lives, and they will take you to the house because it is a small community and it is people interact closely. But in an urban area, you ask for somebody, people will just look at you and wonder that they don't know the person, they've never met the person, they don't know where the person lives because there is a high level of anonymity. People don't interact on a face-to-face basis and many people do not know other people like that. So these are the two types of societies that Emile Durkheim mentioned. Emile Durkheim also talked about the problem of anomy. In other words, normlessness in the society, a situation of breakdown of the social system, a situation in which people disregard the rules. Disregard of rules, according to Emile Durkheim, could result from situations of despair or frustration. Disillusionment. Disillusionment or feelings of worthlessness. What are situations of anomy? Total breakdown of law and order. A typical illustration perhaps could be situations of social demonstration, such as happened during the period of EndSARS or during the period of End Bad Governance. Breakdown of law and order. The situation is very chaotic. People do whatever they want to do, and it creates general problems in the society. So these are the works of Emile Durkheim. I think we'll just stop with this on Emile Durkheim. Then we'll go on to the third founding father. That is Karl Marx. I believe many people may have heard of Karl Marx, a German philosopher who lived from 1818 to 1883. A German philosopher Emile Durkheim also had an evolutionary view of the society. He identified Karl Marx. Karl Marx. Karl Marx had an evolutionary view of the society. He identified 6 stages of development. That is, the society moves from one stage to another. He identified 6 stages through which the society moves. The first one he called primitive communism. The second one, slavery. The third one, feudalism. The fourth one, capitalism. The fifth one, socialism. And the sixth one, the ultimate one, the final one, communism. So these are 6 stages of evolutionary development of the society. Usually society starts from primitive communism, then goes on to slavery, feudalism, capitalism, socialism, and ultimately communism. Now, for Karl Marx, how does the society move from one stage to another? How does the society move from one stage to another? According to Karl Marx, every society contains forces or factors which will lead to its destruction. So it is inevitable. No stage is enduring until the society gets to the communism stage, according to Karl Marx. Every stage will be overthrown and be replaced by the next stage in the hierarchy. Another major contribution of Karl Marx is in the area of social stratification. He recognized two classes of people in the society. Namely, the proletariat and the bourgeoisie. The proletariats are the poor people. The working class. The bourgeoisie are the rich people. So these are the two classes of people that Karl Marx recognized in the society. According to Karl Marx, the society is characterized by conflict. The two categories of people, the proletariat and the bourgeoisie, they usually don't agree because they don't have the same interests. The interest of the working class is different from the interest of the bourgeoisie. The interest of the poor people is different from the interest of the capitalists. The capitalists, the bourgeoisie, the rich people want to continue to exploit the poor people. And the poor people want to break themselves away from the stranglehold by the rich people. So the society, he said, is always characterized by conflict. So I think we'll just stop with this with Karl Marx and then quickly go on to the last sociologist that we'll discuss, that is Max Weber. Who lived from 1864 to 1920. Max Weber was a German sociologist. Max Weber advocated the idea of value-free sociology. So that was one of his own contributions to the study of sociology. He was of the view that sociology should be value-free, that as sociologists, we should not allow our values to influence or interfere with our study. Personal values should not interfere with our study. Although some other scholars disagree with this idea of value-free sociology. Max Weber also saw the society as being divided into three types. In terms of authority structure. One, he called the traditional authority. Two, charismatic authority. And three, legal, rational authority. We'll share materials with us later on. Three types of authority structure. The traditional authority, the authority that predominates in the society. The society with traditional authority structure. That's characterized or typical of early societies. Authority is based on traditional ideas. Tradition, how things have always been done. So who holds authority in traditional societies? In traditional societies, authority is often based on age. The most senior person, the oldest person in the family, in the community, has authority, has more power than other people. So in the family, the parents have more authority than the children based on age. Traditional authority is also often based on gender. The tendency to see the man as the head of the family. In many situations, when they ask who is the head of this family, even the women will say it is the husband. So that is a traditional authority structure based on tradition, how things have always been done. The second type of authority structure is the charismatic authority. Charismatic authority, charismatic in the sense that authority is based on the personal qualities of particular individuals. The qualities that particular individuals have. Such as perhaps religious leaders. So that's a charismatic authority. Traditional authority we know is inherited and can be transferred. So when the eldest person in the family dies, the next oldest person takes over authority. So it continues, it can be transferred. Charismatic authority, on the other hand, such as the authority that is possessed by prophets and such people, we know the authority cannot be transferred. When the person dies, then the authority may move to another location. Then the third type of authority is the legal, rational authority. According to Max Weber, this is the best, this is the most advanced type of authority, legal, rational authority. Authority here is based on rationality, reason. So authority is possessed under the legal rational authority structure by the most competent person, not necessarily the oldest person, not necessarily based on gender. The legal authority structure operates in complex organizations, employment organizations. So in employment organizations, we know it is possible for the managing director or the chief executive officer to be a young person, could be a man, could be a woman, could just be 25 years old. It does not matter. But that is the most qualified person, that is the most competent person in the organization. And the young person, 25-year-old, 35-year-old, or whatever, could be controlling a 60-year-old man who is a security man or who is a gate man or cleaner in the organization. So authority here is not based on age, but competence, but quality. So the most qualified person, the most competent person holds authority in this situation. And again, authority here cannot be transferred from one person to another. So these are the main ideas of Max Weber that will study and we'll focus on here today. And with this, we'll bring our class today to a close. Just in the next 1 or 2 minutes, we'll do a quick recap of what we have done. We talked about the origin of sociology as a course, how it came to be. We gave definitions of sociology, how it is related to other disciplines. We also talked about the historical background to sociology as a course. And finally, we talked about the contributions of founding fathers, August Comte, Emile Durkheim, Karl Marx, and Max Weber. We'll share materials later on in the course of the semester. I hope I've tried to go gently for us to understand, but I know there may be questions that people may want to quickly ask before we close. So I'll be willing to respond to your questions quickly. Ayomide, do you have your hand up?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. What's the question?
So my question is, what separates the bourgeoisie from proletariats? How did they get rich? Is it in their behavior or is it just inheritance?
Well, it could be inheritance, could be oftentimes in inheritance. But you know, in the society, we have the rich people and we have the poor people. We have the people like Dangote or Tedola and several other people, the billionaires, the multimillionaires, and so on. They are in a different class. The proletariat are the working class people. They are in a different class. And according to Karl Marx, the location of people, where people belong, has significant impact on their life. Who are the people who live in Banana Island? Who are the people who live in Lekki Phase 1 and places like that, Parkview? Who are the people who live in Okokomaiko? Who are the people who live in Ajangbadi and various other places? So he said the society comprises two categories of people. There are rich people, and the interests of the rich people are different from the interests of the working class, the proletariat. So their interests do not converge, and usually they cannot agree on many things. The rich people want to exploit the poor people, and the poor people also see the rich people as their enemies, the exploiters. And so the relationship is usually one characterized by conflict and disagreements. Abolaji John, I see your hand up. You have a question or comment?
Okay, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning.
I want to ask, what's the meaning of, what are the difference between the primitive communism, the stages Karl Marx said, and the normal communism?
Yeah, okay, the difference between the various stages, unfortunately, we do not have enough time to go through all of this. Maybe we'll just share this in the document that I'm going to share with you. But the primitive communism, he said, is the most elementary point, the starting point that the society starts at that stage. We can imagine the early societies primitive communism, there's no differentiation in the society. We can look at rural communities. People live together, they share everything together because they are all members of the same community. So there's no much differentiation. But so it's like things going in a circular form. Then the slavery period emerges, where some slaves have to work for some rich people. Then the feudalism, a situation in which some powerful people have authority over the other category of people, and they depend for their survival on the feudal lords. Then capitalism, as we have in Nigeria and the Western societies, where people are differentiated, the capitalists and the other people. Then socialism, and ultimately communism. Communism, he said, is a situation of from each according to his capacity. So people under communism contribute to the society according to their capacity. And then the resources of the community, the society, will be distributed according to their need, not necessarily on the basis of what the person brings in. If somebody is not able to contribute as much as other people because of limited capacity, it does not matter under communism, but everybody will still have what is needed by everybody else. So that's the ultimate society that Karl Marx predicted. So people will have what they need, they will do what they can do, but they will have what they need for their survival in the society. What's Blessing?
Sir, sorry.
Okay.
Good
Sir, can
afternoon.
we say communism is the highest form of socialism, since socialism also talks about equality, where we can say it talks about the contribution, individual contributions.
Yes, communism is a higher order. So socialism, simply they said that's a situation of from each according to his capacity, to each according to his contribution, but communism from each according to his capacity, so each according to his needs. So communism is more advanced. So, well, okay, maybe if you want to put it like that, advanced form of socialism. Abdul Malik, then Udo.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon.
So what I want to ask is that can we regard Auguste Comte as the father of sociology due to his study?
Yes, for our formal purposes, Auguste Comte coined the word sociology, so he's the first person who, or he's the person who originated sociology.
Okay. So can we also say sociology originates from France due to French ties?
Oh yes, certainly. It started from France. Certainly, it started from France, and then, well, because of the French Revolution, as we explained, the problems that arose out of the French Revolution, trying to solve the problem, then it spread to other parts of Europe because of the problems of the Industrial Revolution, and then it spread to other parts of the world, to US, and before ultimately coming to Africa. Okay, so I don't know, we have already exceeded our time. So if you have another class, I don't want to eat so much into the class.
Just one question.
Yes. Okay. Good afternoon. Who is the lady now talking?
Okay, good afternoon, sir. Concerning the French Revolution, you said the French Revolution started at 1789, while the Industrial Revolution started about 1760. So, and the French Revolution started first. So I want to understand, was it during the time of Industrial Revolution that the French Revolution came into play? And how were they able to work together, or they never worked together until Augustine Comte came in to look for a stable ground for everybody to work with, or else because the dates and the time it happened, I'm trying to merge those together in my head.
The dates overlap. I think that's what we talked of Industrial Revolution starting from about 1760 to 1840, the French Revolution starting around 1789. So the dates overlap, and you are wondering how they are related. Well, the problems, problems exist in various societies, but it may take people in different societies different times to respond to the problems. So for the French Revolution, Auguste Comte was worried about that, and he originated the idea and started introduced the idea of sociology to look at the problem in the society, in the French society at that time. It's possible for other people to have addressed the problems in their societies in different ways. But talking about the formal idea of sociology, the introduction of the word sociology, that's the one that makes a difference now. I mean, from time to time, other people will have been studying and concerned about whatever was happening in their society and trying to look at it from different perspectives. And just as we said, Auguste Comte was of the view that the other social sciences, so that's to say that there were other, there were social sciences, there were subjects, disciplines that were addressing societal problems, but he was not satisfied with the capacity of those subjects to explain the problem or to solve the problem that confronted the society at that time. So that was how he coined the word sociology, developed sociology as a discipline that will answer all the problems. So it's not as if he's the first person to do anything, but he was the first person to introduce the idea of sociology, which went on to develop as a subject of discipline, or a subject or discipline as we have today. But other people could have looked at the same problem. Economists will have looked at the problem of poverty in a different way. Criminologists will have looked at the problem of crime in a different way. Historians will have looked at the problem, but coining the word sociology, he's the first person that did that. So I think we've, okay, so maybe we should just make this the last question. Who's this now?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
That's Udo, Destiny.
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, please, my question is scientific study the only element of sociology?
I'm not sure I got your question, but sociology adopts the scientific method. Well, essentially that whatever we do in sociology, we should be systematic. We should plan things. I think it's just a method to guide our study and behavior so that we don't just do things anyhow, but we have to be systematic. We have to follow established procedures. When things are done in a systematic way, it makes for reliability rather than people just jumping from one issue to another. But the systematic procedure ensures that we move from one stage to another, one step to another, and everything is done in an orderly manner. I think that's the main essence of that. I don't know, I hope this answers your question a bit.
Yes, sir, but what I meant was that you mentioned elements of sociology, and then it was only scientific study that was listed out. So I wanted to ask that, is it only scientific study that serves as an element of sociology?
No, elements of sociology, we discussed the scientific method as, because sociology was going to be a scientific study of the society. So we just discussed what does scientific method entail. So this was in that regard that we talked about the methods, being systematic, being objective, being demonstrable, and so on. So
Okay, sir.
good
Thank
afternoon,
you, sir.
everybody. I think at this point, we'll bring the class to a close. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Please, sir, can we get the recording of the class?
Yes,
Thank you,
okay.
sir.
I'll find out about that and we'll share with the class.
Okay, sir.
It's on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Okay, so somebody has answered us. It's on YouTube. Okay, good afternoon. Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.